All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Math Puzzle Crash Course. We've got a simple problem here, and it is a man buys a horse for $60, sells it for $70, buys it back for $80, and sells it again for $90. How much money did he make or lose? Saw this one show up on Facebook. A lot of people got the right answer, but there's a lot of confusion on this. I've seen some very similar problems, and it's really a wide range of answers I've seen, all the way from losing money and everything else to breaking even, stuff like that. But if you want to, you're not really sure, you can pause the video here. We'll come back and look at this together. All right, so first of all, I want to say some of the confusion that I've seen. I want to stress these three things. Nowhere in the problem does it tell us how much money they started with. All right, it tells you how much they spent, how much they made, doesn't tell us anything about how much money they had to start with. See, a lot of people get confused over that, and they're assuming that, well, you only have $60. No, read the problem again. It says that right off the bat, you spent $60. When you go to the store, you don't necessarily just carry three 20s on you or a $50 bill and a 10 or 12 $5 bills, right? You don't have exactly that amount when you go. You might have $100 on you. Well, you might have $1,000 in the bank. The amount of money that you start with here is irrelevant because when you look at the problem, we know that they had enough money to, like I say here in number three, they had enough money to spend 60 plus 80, which is $140. So again, it does not matter how much money they started with. So I just want to get that out of the way. Couple ways you can look at this problem. You see that he bought it once, sold it, bought it again, and sold it. So you have a couple sales in here. You can look at each one of those individually, and you can see each time he sold it for $10 more than he paid. So that's pretty obvious. He made $10 each time. That's a total of $20. 70 minus 60 is 10, 90 minus 80 is 10, 10 plus 10 is 20. And yet I'll see answers like 30. One of the most common ones is 10, which is really puzzling. It's really confusing how people are coming up with that. It's pretty simple math. You can also look at this way. The expenses or the amount that he spent again is 60 plus 80 is 140. The revenue is how much money he generated, how much money came in. Well, the first time $70 came back to him. The second time $90 came back to him. Actually, this should be a plus sign here. 70 plus 90 is 160 right there. $160. So earnings, and I see this confusion too. It says it asks us how much did he make or lose? Make or lose? Well, I look at make as profit. How much did he make? That's also earnings. Earnings is equal to profit. That's equal to the revenue, which is the amount of money that came in minus the amount of money that went out, or revenue minus expenses. That's 160 minus 140 is $20. So again, $20. Um, and many people are getting confused and give answers, like I said, that he lost money, etc. And again, nobody knows how much he started with. You can assign a variable x. And I know this is algebra, some maybe don't know algebra, but again, again, it doesn't matter how much money he started with. I could assign a variable x to the amount of money that they had to start with. And then you just add and subtract all those numbers. X minus 60, because he spent it, right? Spending is a negative, money coming in is a positive. So X minus 60 plus 70 minus 80 plus 90 equals X plus 20. So here, this this is one of the confusing answers that I saw, and it really made no sense. It says he made $10 even though he made two transactions. Cash flow reveals that he bought and sold with the same principal amount. This answer absolutely makes no sense. It really does not make any sense whatsoever. Um, And unfortunately, this person kind of went on to argue that they understood business math, but apparently not, because his answer made no sense. But he went on to try to explain it again. He says, in business, his first investment of $60 gave him a return of 10. Now, I agree with that first part that he says up to the semicolon, because yes, he spent 60, he got back 70, so he got a return of 10. But then he's saying, this is where he goes way off the rails. He says his second investment was 20 more than his first investment. That makes no sense. It doesn't matter. It's all one pot of money that this person has. He spent 60, he got back 70, and then later he spent 80 and got back 90. That's a $10 gain each time. But he's very confused here. He's thinking that just because his second investment was $20 more, he had to put in $80 more the second time. Well, that's somehow a loss. And then he's thinking, well, then he borrowed $10 more for his second investment, but only got 10 in return. Therefore, the total return on the principal amount of 60 was only 10. That is simple accounting math. So, friend, go and learn about business and so on and so on. So, really not, yeah, no, no, not at all. That's completely wrong. Again, I mean, we just go back up to here. This is so simple. It's no matter how much money you had to start with, you're going to wind up with $20 more, no matter how you look at it. And if you don't believe me, assume this guy had $500. We don't know. Just assume it, $500, and then work each one out. Take 500 minus 60, add 70, subtract 80, add 90. Guess what? You're going to have 520 as your result. You can pretend he had $1,000 to start with. You're going to end up with $1,000 and 20. You're going to end up with 10, 20, $1,020. If this person was really wealthy and had $1 million, after they went through this, they're going to have $1 million plus $20. So again, the amount of money this person started with is irrelevant. As a matter of fact, he could have had no money, borrowed it, and as long as he didn't have to pay any interest on any of it, say he borrowed it from a friend and paid it right back, he would go from 0 to $20 at the end of all this. So all this craziness here doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So I hope this clears this one up. And again, I look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.